There's a lot to talk about in the world of cryptocurrency, but of course, we're all focused on Coinbase going public at potentially a $100 billion valuation, which frankly just blows my mind because that makes it more valuable than the Intercontinental Exchange, which owns the New York Stock Exchange. Does this make sense to you?
Well, thanks for having me on. It does make sense because what we've seen over the past 6 months to a year is that crypto is at a mainstream inflection point. I mean, obviously, all of the coverage today is about Coinbase's going public transaction, which is very exciting. But it's hit the public consciousness in other ways. You've seen the crypto art on the front page of the Wall Street Journal. As you said, Bitcoin hit an all-time high again today. And major financial institutions have filed for an ETF with the SEC, including our member, Fidelity Digital Assets. So this has resulted in a massive amount of attention and a spike in the number of users and just ordinary people who are interested in crypto.
So will that ETF ultimately get approved? I mean, there's a lot of regulation that needs to be thought through, I think, in the world of cryptocurrency. This is still a relatively new area of investment.
We are hopeful that that the folks that President Biden has brought into the SEC, including Gary Gensler, who has been focused on cryptocurrencies at MIT for the past several years, will give the ETF applications a full and fair hearing when they come before him.
And Kate, if I can bring you into the conversation, I know in your report you talked about a race to the bottom. And if Coinbase's revenue structure is based on those fees, but Robinhood is already offering trading for free, what does that mean for the sustainability of a Coinbase model?
So Robinhood had the same effect on the brokerage industry. They came in, offered free trading, and in this case, they get rebates from some of their trading partners, so they do make money on the back end. But it is we've seen, and that could be a big risk for Coinbase going forward. They charge a lot more than it takes to, or what people would charge for stock trading, for example. Right now, do make Bitcoin trading more expensive, and they might need to charge that for things like security. Coinbase would say, they've never had a hack system. That's one reason why traders might go to them versus a new might offer the same thing. So that's a big thing. Security, custody, and things that they say right now are proprietary make them a better option. But it is a huge headwind going forward.
Gus, what is the main regulatory issue that Bitcoin needs to be aware of and investors in it need to worry about?
Well, there are many, and thanks for raising the issue. I mean, one of the reasons that we, Paradigm, formed CCI, the Crypto Council for Innovation, with Fidelity Digital Assets, Square, and Coinbase, is because all of these organizations are very serious about the promise of crypto and dealing with regulators, not just in the United States, but around the world, on getting on the same page about crypto's promise. I think one of the main issues that we have to deal with are misimpressions. I mean, crypto's been around for 10 years, but even though it's in the public consciousness now, as we talked about a few moments ago, the times in that past 10 years when it would hit the public consciousness was generally in times of hacks or other problems. And one of the things that Crypto Council for Innovation is poised to do is to clear the fog of those misimpressions for regulators and for ordinary people. And Tyler, one of the ways we did that is by hosting a paper by Mike Morell, who's the former director of the CIA, just this morning, that debunks a lot of the myth around Bitcoin being used for illicit purposes, and in fact turns that around. And Mike finds that the blockchain that Bitcoin is on is actually an underutilized forensic law enforcement and intelligence tool. Essentially, he's saying it is better for governments to people to do their transactions on blockchains than with cash.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.